Welcome to Jonathan's Thoughts of the Day. In the last video, we were speaking on Romans chapter 12, titled Living Sacrifices, and we talked about how people can have different types of ministries. While I was doing some more research on the subject, I also came across 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 1 through 26, and it reads as follows. Again, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1 through 26. This is the New International Version of the Bible. Now, about spiritual gift, brothers, I do not want you to be ignorant. You know that when you were pagans, somehow or other you were influenced and led astray to mute idols. Therefore I tell you that no one who is speaking by the Spirit of God says Jesus be cursed, and no one says Jesus is Lord except by the Holy Spirit. There are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord. There are different kinds of working, but the same God works all of them in all men. Now to each one the manifestation of the Spirit is given from the common good. To one there is given through the Spirit the message of wisdom, to another the message of knowledge by means of the Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another miraculous powers, to another prophecy, to another distinguishing between spirits, to another speaking in different kinds of tongues, and still another the interpretation of tongues. All these are the works of one and the same Spirit, and He gives them to each one just as He determines. The body is a unit, though it is made up of many parts, and though all its parts are many, they form one body. So it is with Christ. For we are all baptized by one Spirit into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Now the body is not made up of one part, but of many. If the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I'm not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it would not for that reason cease to be part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has arranged the parts in the body, every one of them just as He wanted them to be. And if they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts of the body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I do not need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I do not need you. On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And the parts that we think are less honorable we treat with special honor. And the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty, while our presentable parts need no special treatment. But God has combined the members of the body and has given great honor to the parts that lack it, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices within it. Sorry for a little bit of the mix-up, but again, that's 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1 through 26. Now, as we spoke with Romans, and we were talking about how every person has a different reason for being, this in Corinthians, it just enforces that fact. It reinforces the fact that everybody has a purpose, and just because one person has a different gift does not mean he's any less or any greater than any other person. If you have any other concerns, comments, or questions, please feel free to put them on the post. Again, this is Jonathan Casillas, Thoughts of the Day, at johncasillas.com. That's johncasillas.com. Thank you and have a good day.